All right, welcome back to another video, guys. We are currently sitting 5 weeks out from PRORAW 15. Bit of change of scenery. Hopefully it's not too echoey. The missus has a training session to do and I thought I'd just tag along. Because why not, huh? Decent week of training this week, on top of sleep, nutrition, hydration, as per usual. Few little nutrition things that I probably didn't get spot on, but I'm not too worried about those. We spoke about last week about how we're changing up how many steps I'm doing a day, just to prioritize the recovery for the sessions. I feel like that worked really well this week. I did pick up a few little niggles throughout the week, and I'll explain what and how I got them. But let's start with Monday's bench. So 225, 2x2, which is an equal PB, felt easy. Smashed both sets. Really think that I could probably bench 240 plus right now. So the challenge then becomes, can I squat 240? Nope. The challenge then becomes, can I bench 240 kilos, maybe a little bit more, after squatting 400 kilos at least twice, depending on what we open at. If we open at 390, then obviously I still got to squat 400 twice. If we open at 400, then I've got to squat 400 3 times before going into bench. So we'll really see. But at the moment, bench is flying, feels super easy. Good pauses on every rep, felt comfortable. I actually compared it to the big dogs prep where I hit 225, and these are miles better, pretty much in every single way. So technically they're better, they're faster, the pauses were better. So just kind of like a perfect sort of way to kick off the week. My back down's 185 kilos for a set of 6. Close grip, again, really easy. Probably could have banged out a set of 8, which would have been a PB. I've done 180 for 8, which is probably the most I've done, I think, close grip, in terms of reps at least. But yeah, really solid start to the week. Just had my usual prone rows and JM presses after on the Smith machine. Again, my shoulders and elbows and that are nice and healthy at the moment, so the Thompson fat pad has been, like I said, a godsend, and just doing like little bits of mobility here and there just to try and keep them fresh and keep them moving, and it's worked really well. Usually at this stage, 5 weeks out, I'm having to pull back on accessories. Even the rows sometimes hurt my elbows. The JM presses for big dogs prep, I think it was like 8 weeks out or something that I couldn't do them anymore. I had to pull them out of the programming. So really happy with how my bench is going. Really happy with how all my joints are feeling like I'm nailing my bench setup every single time, and they're just moving really easy. So yeah, can't really complain. On to squats. Squats did not go the way we had planned, but not too worried. I'll go over basically what happened, obviously. So warming up, I felt really good. My hips back, everything felt a lot better than it has sort of the past couple of weeks. Like I said, reducing that the volume of walking I'm doing outside of the gym has really helped coming into some of these sessions, being a bit fresher. Obviously on the off days, I'm still gonna try to do as much walking as I can. As an example, the Sunday, me and the missus walked around shopping center. I did about 4Ks of just walking in, an hour. So nice and easy, steady pace, but still moving. But on the Monday and Tuesday, I just chilled a little bit. I still hit like 7 to 9,000 steps a day when I'm actually at the gym. I tend to do a lot of walking around, but it's the off days that I think were the crutch sort of last time, was that, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd just sit around doing nothing all day. So coming into Tuesday, again, squats felt really good. My warm-ups felt all right. We did have a little mishap with 370, which was completely my fault. Basically, anyone who's used this forward-facing model will know that if you set up a little bit too far forward, as you go to unrack it, you're actually against the uprights. And then so when the mono got pulled away, I just fell forward a little bit. Not an issue. The guys grabbed me straight away. Re-racked it and then took the set again. It wasn't the fastest 370 move. It wasn't even that great, but at that stage, I couldn't feel my legs or anything like that, so it wasn't amazing. And then we jumped to 405. So going into the 405, I was a little bit cooked. I think the 370 tired me out just a little bit, but I was still very confident. I've scored a 405 being tired before, so I wasn't too worried. However, this one didn't really go to plan. So first off, unrack was perfect, felt really solid, really strong. And then on the descent, felt perfect. Like I was confident the whole way down that this was going to be an easy rep. If anything, I might struggle a little bit, but not anything that I couldn't sort of push through. Now, I bounce out of the hole and the bar rolls forward on me. And I couldn't do anything to stop it rolling once it started. The second I sort of felt it, I told the guys to take it, but I was sort of already pitched forward and yeah, it was gone. So the guys did a really good job of catching me because it was just a split second. It's 405 kilos and I'm not one to ever dump a bar on anyone or anything like that. But when I'm pitched forward like that, I couldn't do anything to stay with the bar. The guys grabbed it as much as they could. I got pulled out from underneath and I think they did probably a perfect job of spotting me under the circumstances. You know, we can sit here and say that, yeah, we should have had more spotters, but there's no one at the gym. Like you've just got to work with what you've got. And unfortunately, we can't always have 2 spotters aside or anything like that. And to be honest, with how fast it went, I don't really think that would have mattered. About 2 years ago, I had a belt snap. And that obviously threw me forward with 315 kilos, my belt snapped, pitched me forward, and the bar smacked into the back of my head really hard. And that kind of hurt. The 405 slid. I think the guys did a really good job of grabbing the weight, even if momentarily. Adam, who was a back spotter, pulling me out. That way the bar just slid. And I was completely fine. So there was no, my head hurt a little bit from the graze, but there was no big smack in the back of the head. And as far as I'm concerned, I was sort of completely fine. Back didn't really hurt or any of that. But yeah, I think they did a good job given the circumstances, obviously. But yeah, 405 over the top of my head is not really what I wanted this week. I wanted to have my first 400 of this prep and like smoke it, but not to be. So woke up the next day and felt pretty good, to be honest. So all week I've sort of felt, a bit fatigued. My back's been a bit tight, but it's not like super sore or anything. And at this stage in prep, I was probably going to have that anyway. But the one thing I did get from it, I think, is my right glute is a bit sore. And it feels like I've got like a trapped nerve or something. Every now and again I'll be walking and it feels like just a little bit of it's not a pain, but like a shooting sensation. And then my leg kind of buckles a little bit. And I first noticed that on Thursday, so like 2 days after the squat. So I don't know if it's from that or if it's just from, I don't know. I'm not sure. I would assume that it'd be from the 405. It makes the most sense. But yeah, so not really worried about it. We'll just go again next week. Like I said, the bar rolled forward on me, and if you've had that at such a heavy weight, you know that you can't really do much to save it once it starts rolling. So onto second bench the Thursday. Like I said last week, we're going to be pushing the chain bench and pulling back a little bit on the just the overall weight of the incline. So 185 kilos plus chains for a 2x5, which is definitely a PB. I think I'd only done 180 for reps last time. I think I did like 185 or 190 for a double plus chains. And that was it. I think that was probably like the top sort of set we got to. So 185 for 2x5 with chains is quite big. It was also really easy. I got through every set still thinking I've got 2+ reps in the tank. And to be honest, after the first set, I was thinking I could probably hit this for a set of 8 if I really needed to. So, my bench is flying at the moment. We're pushing the chains hard, and we're still getting really good volume in on the incline as well. So 165 kilos for 2 sets of 8. So again, for both, just a 5 kilo jump, which we'll probably do again next week. Whether or not we keep up the 8s for the incline, I'm not sure. And we might even hit 190 for a set of 5 with how easy the 185s were with the chains, which would be obviously big PB, because I think the 190 double last time was 1 set, 1 double. I could be wrong, but yeah, so to go from 190 for double to 190 for 2x5 would be really big, really huge. So fingers crossed. Final day of the week, deadlifts. These didn't go as well as what I was hoping. We had 330 kilos for 2 singles. I felt pretty good. Warm-ups felt all right, all that sort of stuff, but I think the glute problem was probably the biggest issue I had. I tried to just put it out of mind and try to not make it like a thing. I didn't want to pull a warm-up and go, oh God, I'm not sure, you know, my glute thing feels a bit weird or whatever. So I just put it out of my mind and just, you know, did the session. But yeah, so jumped from 270 to 300 and then to 330. 270 felt weird, like I don't know how to explain it, but just a bit off. 300 felt better. And then for 330, I put on talc, again, baby powder, because I just thought, you know, if I'm gonna use it in comp for the top weights, maybe I just use it here, just so I, you know, I get that slide and I can practice that sort of lockout. But me being the dumbass that I am, I actually got talc on my hand. So when I put the chalk over it, it doesn't take away the talc that you've got on your hand. So for the first rep, came off the floor really easy, felt really good, got it above my knees. And then I felt my hand just start to open, and I knew that I had one of two options. I could either try and fight through it, make the rep a lot harder than what it was, therefore fatiguing myself, or I could just drop it. So I just chose to drop it. The lockout wasn't going to be clean because my hand was opening anyway, so I just thought, screw it, just drop it, and we'll just worry about the second single. The second single wasn't. I mean, it was better in that I locked it out, but the rep itself just wasn't great. I'm not sure if the glute thing's playing in it, like was part of it. Maybe I couldn't get as much sort of explosiveness off the floor like I normally do. I'll put up a side-by-side comparison of like the 330 I pulled in Big Dog's prep versus that 330, and you can see it's like a night and day difference. I will say though that obviously I'm being harsh on myself, but the Big Dog's prep I didn't fucking get folded by 405 kilos earlier in the week, so I'm probably being a little bit harsher on myself and how I actually feel on that Friday. You know, obviously still carrying some fatigue, and yeah, like I said, it was obviously, you know, my back's been pretty good, but still been tight. So maybe all that sort of contributes to the fact that deadlift session wasn't amazing. I am going to see osteo in the morning, tomorrow morning. Have a look at my back. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it, but just to get some work on it. And same with the glute. The glute's the part that I really want to fix. But yeah, so you can see, I mean, even in the comparison, like I said, it's a night and day sort of difference. And I also think maybe I set up a little too narrow, which was sort of the issue I had for I think PRORAW prep last year, was that because I was too narrow, I can get any weight to above my knees, but then I couldn't. There's no room for my hips. So I think that was the other thing I probably didn't do perfectly. But again, I was just so not worried, but I was just so focused on being fast off the floor that I probably neglected some other like important cues and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not too fast. Like I said, I'm always harsh on myself regardless of how I feel, because in my mind, it doesn't matter how I feel. I need to just do the work and do it really well. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.